That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Right then, let's start then. We're going to do something with a ball. So grab a ball. Right, grab a ball, and we're going to roll. No, we're going to bend forward. So we're going to put our feet straight, and then we're going to just get a feel for how tight our legs are. And I want to show you something that kind of tells us how important our feet are in determining how flexible our body is. So I just want you to have your feet straight and then fold forward and get a feel for how tight your legs are. So think about, oh, are my knees gripped? And give yourself a number between maybe 1 and 5. Like, how stiff do you feel down the backs of your legs, in your feet? And then maybe bend one leg and then bend the other leg. So sort of walk out the stretch, and then, oh, that's nice. Bring your weight back. And then see if you can swing your body around to one side. How stiff is that? Oh, really stiff for me. I think I'm going to give myself a bit of a 4. So rate yourself out of 5. So 1 being, yeah, I'm flexible. I'm always this flexible. No problem at all. 5 being, I'm absolutely stiff as a board. And sort of have a gauge of how far are your hands from the floor as well. So if you spread your fingers out, can you reach to the floor comfortably? Oh, if you can't. All right, and then slowly come back up. And then we're going to roll our feet, and we're going to see whether sensory input to your feet, what kind of impact that has had on your body. So keep that score in your head. We're just going to find a ball of some sort, a golf ball, a tennis ball, preferably a bouncy ball that's quite small. And we're going to spread our toes out, and we're going to roll our feet. Very nice if you're going on a walk. So get every part of your foot and roll in different directions. So you could go forward and back, but you can also do like a circle as well. And find the bits that are really tight. Do the arch of the foot too, especially if you have plantar fasciitis coming or recovering. And then the heel of the foot too. That's it. Got the whole of that foot. Let's switch to the other side now. So so the foot that you've just done, lift up the toes, spread them on the floor, so you've got a nice straight leg and a flat foot to balance on, to roll on the other side. So remember that original number. Roll of the foot, spread the toes out. Do the arch of the foot, the heel of the foot. So remember, go round in circles as well as forward and back. Round in circles as well as forward and back. Move your toes. Okay. Right, so let's go back to our forward bend now. So Spread your toes out on the floor and bend yourself forward and see if that feels any better. It should do. It should feel slightly better. Forward bend, and then go to the side and see, oh yeah, what's happening there? Yeah, I don't feel quite as tight there, and I don't feel quite as tight this side as you twist around, and maybe bend one leg and then bend the other leg. So I think it's fair to say that the input into your feet has a real effect on the way that your body is more flexible. So if you, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't feel as stiff second time around bending forward. So there's something to be said for rolling your feet before you, when you get up first thing. Right, let's do some calf stretches next. So similarly, tight calves prevent a lot of movement in your body. So you can use a rolled up towel to do this stretch, or you can buy one of these half rollers. They're quite handy to have. So then let's put our left foot on the ball of the foot on the calf stretcher. Spread out your toes, put your heel on the floor, and then find a position where your hip and your knee and your ankle are all in a straight line, and face the front and keep your weight in the middle. So if I turn this way, you don't want to be sort of out here or out here. You want your front foot, your pubic bone right in the center, and your feet, your hips and your knees and your ankles in line, and both legs straight, and the ball of the foot is elevated. And you could also use a rolled up towel or something, or a stone or something. So let's just hang out in this position for a minute and look down the side and see if your hip and your knee and your ankle are in line, and then think about relaxing your knee. So for many people, you live with your knees on, so clenched all the time. See if you could just clench them and then relax them. So, or just the knee that's on the calf stretcher, clench it and then relax it, clench it and relax it. And then see if you can take the leg that's not on the calf stretcher through some kind of movement, gait movement. So you might feel quite vulnerable and that you want to put your leg straight down. That's fine. Try and find, bring in some movement, bring in an extra stretch. Try and keep your upper body stacked on your pelvis, so you're not leaning forward. That's a really nice stretch, and bring your weight in the center, and then see if you can bend this knee then over the toes. Try not to scrunch up the toes, keep the ball of the foot on, and make sure that the joint of the big toe is engaged too, so you're not rolling your foot out to the side. Take your knee forward. I'll just turn sideways so you can see, and I'll take this other leg back so you can see what I'm doing. So take this knee forward over the front toes. It's hard to do, so if you're doing it for the first time, taking your toes and taking your knee over your toes is pretty tough going. And don't let your knee fall into the center, fall in it this way. You want to be sort of gliding your knee out to the side externally. This stretch is quite hard to do. And then go back to the straight leg and then push your bottom back and then let's just fold. So fold, use your pelvis as a hinge and fold forward. So just fold to where you feel a bit of tension down the back of the leg, and then go to your knee and just see if your knee's clenched or not. If it is, see if you can clench it even more, then relax it. And then here, think about your pelvis pouring forward. So you want your tailbone to come up and your front fork to go behind you. So you can get that really lovely stretch down the back of the leg. And maybe, if you want to, see if you can slide from side to side. Try and keep the spare leg next to the other one. So just be mindful of where this leg is. So slide, sliding. We imagine our bums on a wall. We're not spinning around like that. And then if you want to, just fold down. Fold as far as you can. Rotate your thighs outwards if you can, whilst keeping your feet in contact with the floor, all areas of your feet in contact with the floor, and relax the knee. Let the head go. Let the arms go, or you could fold them. And you could do that little thing that we did at the beginning where you zoom round to one side and then zoom round to the other side. Loosen off all the backs of the legs, round the hips. Oh, rotate the thighs outwards. Keep the foot in contact. And then slowly come up, and let's go to the other side. So on the other foot, whichever one that is for you. Go. So ball of the foot, straight foot on the calf stretcher. Stack everything up so your hip and your knee and your ankle are in a line, and just hang out there for a moment. Bring your weight from this leg back into the centre. You might want to back up a bit, depending on how tight your calf is. For some people, it will be really tight, I imagine. So just find the first bit of tension. You don't need a whopping great big stretch. And then go to the joint of your big toe and make sure that's gently pushed into the towel or the calf stretcher or whatever you're using. Sometimes I use some stones. Stretch that calf and see if you can relax your knee. So clench it up and then relax it. Clench it up, relax it. Ooh. And rotate the thigh outwards. And then see if you can bring in some kind of gait as if you were walking and you got your foot on a rock or something and you still want to go forward. So see if you can take your foot forward. Be mindful of where this foot lands. So the foot's not going out to the side and you land. Make sure your foot is straight. Think about the last bone of the pinky toe and the heel bone being in a line. And then let's put a bend in this knee now. So bend. Make sure your knee doesn't drop into the centre. It's going externally, and you're using this hip to externally rotate the knee. Relax the toes. Push the knee forward over the toes. Rotate the thigh. Rotate the thigh outwards. That's it. And then maybe you'd like to bring the back leg foot forward and then fold. So think about pouring from the hips. Imagine this is a bowl here and it pours forward. Very nice. Let go of your tummy. Rotate the thighs outwards. Keep the contact with the big toe on the calf stretcher and the other foot, in fact. We keep this sort of twerk, so tailbone up, front fork back. Then go to your knees. Are they gripped? If they are, try to relax them. So you could grip them up and relax them and do a bit of grip, relax, and then leave them in the relaxed zone. And then see if you can slide from side to side. So when you slide, keep the balls of the feet in contact. And remember, we're not twisting round with the bum. We're imagining that our bum's on a wall and we're just sliding. And you might want to then relax everything down, stretch the back, tuck your chin right under so you can really arch back. Drive your elbows away from you. Maybe wiggle your bum from side to side, push your weight back, and then maybe come to one side, and then the other side. And then slowly come up, and we'll do a double calf stretch. So you might need to use a chair or something for this. I'm going to put both balls of the feet on the calf stretcher. So both balls of the feet on the calf stretcher. Oh, and you might want to hold on to something. Same thing, push your bottom back, 2 straight legs, straight feet, hips, knees and ankles in a line. But down, straight down from the hips. You should come to your knees and then your ankles. And then the ball of the foot in contact with the calf stretcher, especially the joint of the big toe. And then we're going to push the bottom back and just hinge yourself forward. So it's pretty tight, this. So remember to breathe. Relax the back of the legs. So when you breathe out, relax the back of the legs, relax the bum. You don't want to be tucking under your bottom. You want to be pouring your bottom, bringing your tailbone up. Oh, and rotate your thighs outwards and maybe slide from side to side. Slide from side to side. Your bone up. And then forward and back. Slide your shoulders down towards your waist. Lift up your head from the floor. Breathe very gently. Backs of legs will be quite tight, I expect. See if you can relax your knees. So scrunch them up and relax them. Scrunch and relax. Ooh, and maybe if you wanted to roll down a bit, you can too. It's all a bit much. Just relax. Try to relax. Joint of the big toe in contact. Don't let your feet roll out to the sides. Come to your knees. Unclench the knees. Roll the thighs outwards. All right, that's that over with. Right, we're going to do a pelvic list now. We're just going to so today is all about what can you do before you walk or you run, really, and what can you do to improve your gait. So your gait is like how you walk and run. And for some of your gait, you're on one leg balancing. So this exercise is to improve your balancing skills and strengthen this joint in your hip. So we're going to have our feet straight. So check out the bone at the bottom of your pinky toe and the bone of your ankle. And if you were to line them in a straight line, that would be a straight foot. So it might feel like your toes are coming inwards, and your hips and your knees and your ankles need to be in line. And then we're just going to come onto one leg. So we're going to slowly transfer our weight onto this leg, which is straight. And then we're going to slide in this foot. So standing on one leg, we're trying not to scrunch up this hip. Okay, we're just letting the other leg float a bit. So we're pushing down onto this straight leg, and just be mindful that you don't want to look like this. I'll exaggerate it. You don't want all your weight over your toes. You want your weight back over your knees and your ankles. And we're just going to push into this leg. So just pushing down into the floor on this straight leg. You can do this while you're waiting in a queue somewhere. So bring your weight back, spread your toes out on the floor, push, push, push. So you're actually balancing very gently. This foot that's gliding has gentle contact with the floor. And just hold it there. So push all the time. You want to be thinking push, push, push into the floor to lift this other leg off the floor. And then after a bit, maybe a short time or a long time, you'll feel your hips sort of aching, and that's what you want to achieve, building up some strength in the small muscles of your hip joint. So we tend to rely on our glutes a lot, the big muscles, but actually it's the small ones around the joint that we really want to strengthen, so that when we're in that walking gait, we are strong and we can balance. So maybe you'd like to, keeping the spare leg, maybe you'd like to push into the standing leg and just swing this leg. You can put your arms out to the side to balance yourself. Bring your weight back. Try not to be using the toes too much. They're just there to kind of straighten you up. So my hip is absolutely screaming now. Oh, so just do it for another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, wiggle that leg, and then we swap to the other side. So again, straight legs to straight feet, and then slide your weight over to the side. Keep your hips square. It's quite good. I've got these lines. So keep your hips square, and then push into this standing leg so that this leg comes off the floor. Remember, try not to have your ribs ramped when you're balancing. Try to bring them down. So if you had a pencil here on your sternum, you wouldn't want it pointing down out in front of you. You want to point it straight down, and try to keep your hips square with the floor. So, and then bring your weight back onto the heel of this leg so that your toes here are very loose. This is a really wonderful thing to practice as many times as you can in the daytime. Try to relax your knee. Talked about relaxing our knee. So try to balance. Bring your weight back. And after that, so pushing down on the straight leg, pushing down to lift the other leg off the floor. So we're not using the scrunchy hip exercise. We're just using the strength of this standing leg. Okay, well done. Bring your weight back. And then when you bring your weight back, maybe you'd like to try and swing this leg. Ooh. forward and back. Try and keep your hips still. You don't want to be pouring your hips to move your leg. You want to be using your glutes, the other leg. Keep your foot straight. Don't let it rotate outwards like that when it goes back. You want to just keep it straight. And try and keep your hips square, pushing into the standing leg. So if you feel like you've got no room to swing your leg, you need to push more into this standing leg. Ooh. So 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, let's just slide our hips from side to side. Feet straight. Slide, slide, slide. And then maybe you take the feet out and slide to loosen up those hips. Oh, and then maybe bring your toes inwards, right inwards. Oh, my hips are tight today. Okay, just going to come to the wall and sort of use a bit of what we've learned. So find a wall. I'm just going to touch the knee, find how far you can keep your foot straight, and see if you can kiss the wall with your knee, and then edge your foot back a little bit and see how far. So when you kiss the wall with your knee, make sure it tracks over your toes. It's not falling inwards. Make sure you keep your foot flat. Just practicing this range of movement. This move is vital for when you go downstairs. So if you're having problems with your knees going downstairs, this is a really nice exercise. You could put some more weight on it by lifting your other leg, getting close to the wall. Make sure your knee is tracking outwards when you kiss that wall with it. Maybe you want to hold it. Maybe it clicks a lot, like mine does. Let's do 5 more. 1, 2. So you can do it against the sofa, side of the sofa. 3, 4, 5. Let's swap legs. So find the range of movement with the other. And you have your foot straight, and then can't reach the wall. So find where you can just kiss it, and then slide back a millimetre or 2, and then kiss the wall again. Find where it's the very edge of, I can't really go much further than that. Yeah. Keep the heel flat on the floor. Remember, don't let your knee drop in. You want your knee to be tracking it outwards. Over the toes. Relax the toes so they don't scrunch up when you reach for that wall. Use the ball of your foot and press into the ball of your big toe. Really nice thing to do, this is. Just to make sure we've got that range, because when we go down steps, this is the movement on this leg that you need, and the strength in this leg. So let's do, did we do 10 on the other one? Do 10, 9, you could lift up this back leg, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, right, we're just going to do something else, which I think some of us have done. So again, on the wall, but bend your knee, flex your foot, push your knee into the wall. So this leg is sort of coming outwards. So ribs down, don't tuck under. We're not tucked under like this, and we're not too pulled forward. Our knee is against, and we're pushing, and we're just going to use the push to rotate ourselves out. Just opening up that hip. So push into the wall to open up to the side. Keep the other foot straight. Just bringing some other dynamics into these hips. So pushing the knee, the outside of the knee that's against the wall, using that to twist around, but keeping the foot on the floor straight. So bringing in a bit of rotation. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just go to the other side. Not sure I can fit under here. So foot straight on the floor. Don't grip your bottom under. Lift up your knee, flex the foot, push this kneecap into the wall. And then use that to gently rotate. And keep the leg on the floor. So get the movement. Straighten up the foot. Pushing, using the outside of the knee against the wall as a lever to twist around. Obviously, don't have your head forward like I have, stuck under this roof. So let's do 5 more, ready? Push into the wall. Try to relax your toes on your standing foot. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Okay, we're just going to come into this centre now. So it's all legs today. I might add some head at the end. So let's necks and heads. Let's bend forward and have our feet straight, and just relax. So legs out to the side, feet straight, hinge forward. Ooh. And see if you can take your feet a bit wider if you can. Hopefully you're on a mat, not the carpet like me, and you can grip your feet in. If you can touch the floor, or if you can use blocks, it's quite nice. And see if you can push into one leg and push into the other leg. So you really sort of unlock those hips, unlock the knees, bring your weight back. That's nice. Right, slowly come on. We're just going to make our way to the floor now, and we're going to stretch the insides of our legs. So this is what we're going to do. Then come onto the floor. Just have a quick go. Come onto the floor. We're going to have hip and knee and ankle all in a line here, but we're going to put our leg out to the side and have our foot facing the front. So here, you don't want to be leaning like this. You want to be straight up here. You can see yourself. And then we're going to pour our hips forward. So we're going to pour the hips forward, let the tummy fall, and just find a stretch on this inner leg here. So you can have your foot facing the front, or you can spin it round from the hip. Just find an inner leg stretch, relax the knee. So you might need to bring your weight back a bit and push your leg out to the side a bit more. So you find your inner leg stretch. And just hold it there. Try and pour your hips forward. And I'm going to, so for those of you who've got that stretch and it's quite intense, stay there. But for other people, you might want to roll back onto your toes and come into this kind of position if you can. If you can't, just stay how you were. Flex the foot. Use this elbow to push this knee outwards. Relax the knee. Really feel it. You might want to rub behind your knee here. You might feel quite a lot of tension down this inside of the leg, which gets quite tight because of, you know, when we drive, we push our knees together, so the insides of our legs are always on. When we sit, we also do that. So any opportunity you get to stretch the insides of our legs. And also, if the inside's tight on one side, tighter than, you know, the outside, then your knee doesn't work right. So you want to always be finding, well, where am I always tight? That's the bit I need to stretch, so I can work on keeping my knee alignment right. So let's just come to the other side. So the other side is like this. Leg out to the side, foot facing the front. Remember what I said, hip and knee in a line. So don't let your hip drop out to the side or come this way. You want it stacked really. And then you want to pull your hips forward. So use your hips as the way to move rather than your upper body. Yeah, and then bring your tailbone up, leg out to the side, and then move back and push your leg out further if you need to find stretch, or you could, you know, bring your leg forward. It depends on you where you're tight. I'm not so tight on this side. And pull your hips forward. See if you can tuck your hips and then pull them forward, bring in a bit of movement. And then if that isn't enough for you, you can't feel a stretch on the inner leg, then rotate from the hip, the leg, and then come up onto your toes if you can. You could also do this kind of sat on a low stool or sat on the side of the sofa. Don't need to be this folded here. And then use this elbow to push the knee out. Oh. Nice. So find that stretch. And then if you're really tight or you fancy sort of squeezing the flesh at the back of the knee, just sort of release off around your knee and then work your way up your leg. Really nice. This bit gets really tight around the back of the knee here. Flex your foot, bring your toes up towards you. That's good. Right, the next move we're going to do, we're just going to see if you can move from side to side. So if you can stay down here and move from side to side like this, it's nice, but it doesn't matter if you're doing it up here as well. So side to side, so just bring in a bit of stretching and movement together. So straight leg, flex foot. Use your pelvis to find the stretch. Stretch. Use your tailbone to find the stretch. Reach the tailbone up at the back. Ooh. You could be really low down on the floor. Transferring your weight from side to side. Try not to screw up your toes. Push your bottom back. And then bring your feet to the front. Just fold. Have another fold forward. If you can't reach the floor, you could always put your hands on something like the sofa. And then see if you can push into one foot and take your weight over the opposite leg and push into the other foot. Take your weight and then bring your weight back. So keep your legs as straight as you can get them. And bring your weight back over the heels of the feet, not over the toes. So your toes are loose. and free. Maybe arch your back and have a little stretch, tuck your chin under. Right, you're going to do a hamstring stretch now. So all these stretches in this first class are related to maybe before you go out on a run or a walk. They're really good for sort of get everything working and aligned right. So this is I just chopped my head off. So this is a hamstring stretch which you could do on a bench, just anywhere. So feet straight. So think about that pinky toe and the ankle being in a straight line, and then so don't reach forward with your leg. You want to be able to be close enough to stand straight. If you're finding it hard to balance, take the leg that's on the chair or the sofa or the bench out to the side a bit, and then it's all in the hip now. Just going to hinge the hip forward. Keep this foot flexed, so toes towards you, heel away, relax the knee. Here, think of this tailbone reaching up, so you could actually put your fingers on it and pull it up, and you can feel the back of the leg get a really nice stretch. So try to relax the knee. Try not to ramp up the hip, so try and keep the hips square. And this leg that's forward within the joints, you're not reaching out forward. Everything's square across the front. So yeah, this is a really good stretch for every day. Backs of the legs, especially under the bum, get tight, especially if you run a lot or you play a sport that involves a lot of legs. And then keep bringing the toes up towards you, dropping the hip down towards the floor of the leg that you're trying to stretch, but then bringing the tailbone up at the back. And maybe you'd like to bring in a bit of rotation. So we imagine that this leg is a golf club and it's rotating from the hip joint outwards and inwards, outwards and inwards, outwards and inwards. It's a really nice way to loosen off that hip. Rotating out and in. And when you rotate out, find the maximum range of movement and just hold it there as if you're screwing your leg off. Imagine that it's like a Barbie doll leg. Oh, and hold it in that stretched outwards position. It's really hard to do, but it's really nice. And then come all the way inwards, so rotate in with the leg. So put your hands on your thigh and rotate out and in, and then hold it in the inwards. It's nice. And then relax, and we'll swap legs. So other foot, so straight foot. Don't reach forward. Oh, just hold on to the roof. Don't reach forward with the hip. You want to be square at the back and along the front here. And your foot flexed. So find a bench, find something. And if you're finding it hard to balance, take your leg outwards a bit. And then flex your toes, relax your knee. And then go to your pelvis and gently bring up your tailbone. Put your fingers on it and pull it upwards. Keep your knee relaxed. Keep your toes driving towards you. Slide your hip back square at the front. So you get a lovely stretch down the back of the leg. And you're just using your pelvis to go between tension and a bit of relief that you're not stretching, and tension. You do this on a bench before you start walking. And then maybe you'd like to rotate the whole leg out find that range of movement. It's pretty tight for me, that is. So maybe you want to rotate in and out, in and out. Loosen up that hip from the hip joint, not from the foot. You can actually feel it all going on if you put your hand there. And then hold it on the external, the outwards phase. Bring your toes towards you. And then hold it on the internal. So we're really hard to do the internal without. So really close your eyes and focus on your hip, rotating inwards. And maybe fold forward a bit more in either position, tailbone up. Oh, that's good. All right, just going to come onto the floor and finish off with some neck stretches. Seems a bit odd, but I was just thinking yesterday how I haven't done any of these for ages. So sit on the floor. Ooh, come onto the floor. I'm just going to sit with our legs wide. So again, just take the opportunity to have an inside of the leg stretch. So I've sat on this because it pours itself forward naturally. You want to find a position where, you know, your front fork is reaching down towards the floor and your feet are out to the sides. All right, and your toes are coming upwards. So just find this position. And then find a position where you can push your front foot down towards the floor and relax your knees. That's quite hard to do. And then have a stretch on the inside there. Let's think about the top half for a minute. Let's see if we can rotate the ribs around one way. Make sure you can breathe still into your ribs. So shoulders down, just a nice twist one way. And then come back into the center and see if you can just move your ribs on their own without the hips. Very hard to do, so you might want to hold on to something or grip your fingers on the floor and pull yourself around a bit. When you're in the twist, see if you can feel your ribs. See if you can relax your knees. See if you can do that now and a bit more fluidly. So maybe close your eyes and really feel your ribs moving about your hips. If you've had enough of your legs being out like this, you can just fold them in front of you. Twist. Loosen up that spine. Because we do a bit of rotation like this when we walk, say, and especially when we run as well. This movement, if you're looser here, it's all good stuff. Right, so I'm going to cross my legs now because I've had enough of legs being like that. Same thing, so find the position where your hips are poured forward, seated position. And then just going to stack our head back. So think of your chin being on a plate and you're going to slide it back. Reach the back of the head up to the ceiling. And then slide the shoulders. So you can't really see my shoulders moving much, but what's happening is I'm leaving my ribs here and I'm sliding my shoulders back towards the wall behind me. They're incredibly tight. Yours could be too. Just holding them in that wider position as long as I can, whilst having my head stacked back on my shoulders. So my chin is slightly tucked. If I relax, my shoulders will fall forward and my head will too. So we want to practice bringing our head back to where it's meant to be. and sliding the shoulders back without the ribs moving. And then let's slide everything back, stack everything, and then let's have a little stretch. So drop one ear to a shoulder, the same shoulder. So this ear is reaching for this shoulder. But these shoulders are both gently pulling back towards the wall. And the back of my head is reaching up towards the ceiling. So I've got a lovely stretch here. If you wanted to, you could bring your arm into it too, if you wanted to. Bend your wrist, reach back with your arm. Maybe that's a bit much for today. Ooh. Okay, let's go to the other side. It's same thing. Imagine somebody's coming towards you with poo on a stick and you're like, ugh. That's exactly the position. You want to bring your head back. Tuck your chin slightly. You don't want it up here or down here. And then gently glide your shoulders back towards the wall behind you and reach your ear for your shoulder. Keeping both shoulders down and gently pulling them back towards the wall without the ribs being involved. Oh, that is so tight for me. I haven't done this for a while. Breathe into the ribs. Try to relax everything. It's all a bit tight. And then come back to the center. We're just going to twist one way, twisting the vertebra in the neck. So same thing, don't have your neck out front and be twisting. Stack it and then twist it one way, twist it the other way. Twist. And I'm going to tuck our chin and just fold your head forward. Keep your shoulders where they are, driving towards the back wall. Tucking your chin under, keeping your ribs down. And then as far as you can go forward with your chin tucked, then draw your attention to the top of the right ear and see if you can take it over to the left. So right ear reaching towards the left, right shoulder reaching down and back. Breathe, 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 breathe. Let's come back to the center. So chin's tucked, shoulders are back, gently moving back by a millimeter or two. And then let's swing our head over to the right, reaching the top of our left ear away from us. Breathe into the ribs. And then come back to the center and just stack. Just reach your chin forward and then bring it back. Reach your chin forward, bring it back. So you know when you're out and about, and especially when you're walking, if you find that you're reaching forward with your chin a lot, think, oh yes, I need to bring that head back. So a lot of people look like this all the time. You want to remind yourself to bring your head back. So strengthening the neck, reach, bring it back, reach, bring it back. Imagine the top of the head is reaching upwards. Really nice. Okay, let's finally draw a box with the chin. So think about just the only thing that is moving is your head and your neck. So draw as big a box as you can using the vertebra in your neck. Just going to swap over the legs. I'm just going to put one hand on the side. I'm going to keep both bum cheeks in contact with the floor or whatever you sat on. And we're just going to reach over to the side. So you could rest your weight on this arm on the floor. And then same thing, see if you can draw your shoulder back, but keep your ribs down. Breathe. Often forget to breathe. And let's go to the other side. So put your hand on the floor and then reach over. And then this shoulder, slide it back. Don't use your ribs to move your arm back. Use your shoulder. Open up your chest. Breathe. And come back to the centre. Now I'm going to spin the ribs round and just have a little twist one way. Drop the shoulders down. Remember to stack your head on your shoulders, and maybe you could twist your neck round and look over. I've gone to the left, so I'm looking over my left shoulder. And then twist round, so use your ribs, twist round to the side. Maybe use your arm as a lever now to pull yourself round even more. And then drop your shoulders, slide them back, stack your head, and then look over the right shoulder. I'm going to finish now, Jude. Have a lovely walk. Come back to the centre. Right, thank you. I hope that helps.